If you knew there was a single month when heaven listens more closely to your prayers, would you dare to let it pass without acting? Padre Pio, one of the most beloved saints of the last century, warned that certain moments in the year are marked by special graces, moments when the veil between heaven and earth feels thinner, and the prayers of the faithful rise with greater force. And August, according to his counsel, is one of those sacred windows. It is not superstition. It is not a human invention. It is the rhythm of heaven itself, a divine calendar known to saints and mystics, revealed through visions, answered prayers, and centuries of faith. Padre Pio, whose entire life was marked by suffering and supernatural encounters, knew that the Rosary was the weapon for these times. But in August, that weapon carries a sharper edge, a deeper reach, and a mysterious connection to the heart of Our Lady. If you already feel a stirring inside you, a call to pick up your Rosary with renewed fervor, write in the comments, do you pray it daily? You may discover that this August is unlike any other in your life. In a small village in southern Italy many years ago, a woman named Lucia carried a quiet burden in her heart. Her son had drifted away from the faith, her husband was distant, and every day felt like a battle against an invisible wall. She prayed, yes, but her prayers felt as if they vanished into the air. That summer, she traveled to San Giovanni Rotondo, where Padre Pio was still alive. She waited for hours among the pilgrims, clutching her worn rosary beads, not knowing if she would even be able to speak to him. When her turn finally came, she knelt, trembling, and asked for his blessing. Padre Pio looked at her with that piercing gaze that seemed to see right through the soul. In this month, he told her, Our Lady walks closer to her children. Hold your rosary as if your life depended on it, and offer it for the salvation of souls. You will see heaven move. Lucia left that day with a renewed fire. Every evening in August, she prayed the rosary with tears in her eyes, naming her husband and son in every decade. By the end of the month, something began to change. Her husband started sitting beside her during prayer. Her son, unexpectedly, asked her to teach him the words of the Hail Mary. Stories like Lucia's are not rare. Those who have followed Padre Pio's advice in August often speak of moments of peace, unexpected reconciliations, and even miracles. And this is why August is unlike any other month. It carries the feast of the Assumption of Mary, a celebration of her being taken body and soul into heaven, a moment that the Church has long connected with extraordinary grace. This is not about superstition or magic. It is about aligning your prayer with a time when heaven has opened its doors wider. And that's why, if you are hearing these words, it may not be by chance. To understand why August holds such weight in heaven's calendar, we must look at the Church's heart during this month. The central jewel is the Feast of the Assumption of Mary, celebrated on August 15th, the moment when Our Lady was taken, body and soul, into heaven. This is not simply a historical remembrance. It is a proclamation that Mary's mission as mother never ends. In August, the Church invites us to contemplate her victory, her closeness, and her intercession in an extraordinary way. Padre Pio's devotion to Our Lady was not just a part of his faith, it was the anchor of his spiritual life. He often said, "Love the Madonna and pray the Rosary, for her Rosary is the weapon against the evils of the world today." Yet, when August arrived, he would speak with a heightened urgency, reminding the faithful that Mary's graces flow abundantly during this time, especially for those who approach her with persistence. From a theological perspective, the liturgical rhythm matters. The Assumption is preceded by days of preparation, novenas, vigils, and processions, in which the faithful unite their hearts to Mary's. These devotions build spiritual momentum. Saints and mystics across centuries have noticed that prayers offered during these spiritually charged times seem to bear fruit more quickly, not because God changes, but because our hearts become more open, more surrendered. Padre Pio also lived in a region where Marian devotion was woven into daily life. In Italy, August is filled with pilgrimages to Marian shrines, public rosary processions, and heartfelt petitions for protection and blessings over families before the harvest season. It is a month when the faithful naturally draw closer to Mary, and Mary draws closer to them. In the spiritual sense, August can be seen as a season of grace, a bridge between the toil of the year and the hope of renewal. The Rosary, prayed faithfully in this time, becomes not just a repetition of prayers, but a declaration of trust and a shield against despair. Padre Pio knew this. He knew that the enemy seeks to discourage, to make prayer seem fruitless. But in August, the Mother's presence is felt more vividly, and the Rosary in your hands is like holding hers. That is why, if you have ever thought of deepening your prayer life, this month is not to be wasted. When Padre Pio spoke of the Rosary, he didn't speak of it as a mere devotion. He called it his weapon. For him, every bead was a bullet of grace, every decade a shield against the darkness pressing on the soul. But in August, he urged the faithful to wield this weapon with an even more deliberate strategy. His first instruction was intention. Padre Pio taught that prayer without intention is like an arrow without a target. In August, he encouraged believers to name specific intentions before beginning the Rosary. These could include the conversion of a loved one, the healing of a wound in the family, or a breakthrough in a difficult situation. But above all, he insisted on remembering the souls in purgatory, especially those forgotten. Pray for them, he said, and they will pray for you. Second, Padre Pio advised aligning the Rosary with Marian titles honored in August. The month is rich with Marian feasts: Our Lady of the Angels, August 2nd, the Assumption, August 15th, and the Queenship of Mary, August 22nd. He recommended meditating on these mysteries while praying, letting each Hail Mary be an offering to the Queen who intercedes without ceasing. Third, he stressed perseverance. Padre Pio himself prayed dozens of rosaries daily, often falling asleep with the beads in his hands. In August, he encouraged the faithful not to settle for one rosary if their heart felt called to more. Even if time was limited, he advised carrying the rosary throughout the day, praying while walking, waiting, or working. The Mother will meet you where you are, he would say. Lastly, he spoke of offering. Padre Pio taught that in August, every rosary should be offered with an act of surrender. Mother, I give you my worries, my fears, my desires. Take them to Jesus. He believed that the Mother's hands in August were especially open, ready to receive our petitions and bring them before her Son. He warned, too, against neglect. If you let this month pass without using it well, he said, you may miss a grace that heaven intended for you now, not later. August for Padre Pio was a battlefield, and the Rosary was both sword and shield. His guidance was simple yet profound. Pray with purpose, unite with Mary's feasts, persevere in every opportunity, and surrender all into her care. Over the years, countless testimonies have emerged from those who took Padre Pio's August counsel seriously. They come from quiet villages, bustling cities, hospital rooms, and prison cells. Each story a reminder that heaven's ear is never far from a heart holding the Rosary. Maria, a young mother in Brazil, had been estranged from her father for nearly a decade. That August, she decided to pray the Rosary every evening for reconciliation, following Padre Pio's advice. On the Feast of the Assumption, her father unexpectedly called, his voice trembling as he asked to meet. By the month's end, they were praying the Rosary together. In Ireland, a man battling terminal illness offered his August rosaries for peace of heart, not healing. His wife later shared that he passed away in September with a serene smile, clutching the beads in his hands, a peace she had never seen in him before. And then there is the story of a group of prisoners in the Philippines who committed to praying the Rosary daily in August, dedicating each mystery to the souls in purgatory. Within weeks, several spoke of dreams in which strangers thanked them, faces they had never seen before, yet felt deeply familiar. These stories are not about coincidence. They are about hearts transformed through perseverance in prayer during a month that carries a mysterious spiritual intensity. Padre Pio believed that the Rosary in August works on three levels. It brings grace to the one who prays, to the one for whom it is prayed, and to the souls who can no longer pray for themselves. If you have ever received a grace, even a small one, through the Rosary, you know the quiet power it carries. In August, that power seems magnified, as though the prayers are lifted faster, carried on the wings of the Queen whose feasts we honor. So, if you've experienced something through prayer that touched your soul, share it in the comments. Your story might be the encouragement someone else needs to begin their own journey with the Rosary this August. If you feel the call stirring in your heart, don't let it fade into a passing thought. Padre Pio would remind the faithful that spiritual opportunities are like open doors. They don't stay open forever. This August, you can step through one of those doors by committing to a simple yet life-changing 3-step challenge. Step 1. Choose your daily Rosary time. Pick a specific moment in the day when you will pray, and guard that time as you would a precious appointment. Whether it's early in the morning before the world awakens, during your lunch break, or in the stillness of the night, make it consistent. This simple act turns prayer into a rhythm that your heart begins to expect and crave. Step 2. Offer it for a specific grace or person. Before beginning, speak your intention aloud, even if it's just in a whisper. It could be for a loved one's healing, for peace in your home, for a spiritual awakening, or for the forgotten souls in purgatory. Padre Pio said that prayer becomes more powerful when it has a clear direction. Step 3. End with surrender. When you finish, place your rosary down and say, "Mother Mary, I give you all of this." Take it to Jesus. This act of trust releases you from anxiety about when or how the prayer will be answered. If you accept this challenge, you won't be alone. Thousands of souls around the world, hearing these same words, are picking up their beads this August and joining their voices with yours. Imagine the sound of that chorus reaching heaven. Padre Pio's warning was never meant to frighten, it was meant to awaken. The most powerful month for the Rosary is already here. All that's left is for you to begin. Padre Pio often said that some graces come only once in a lifetime. He believed that God's timing is perfect, and that our role is simply to be ready when heaven opens a door. August, for him, was one of those open doors, a sacred window when the Mother of God walks more closely among her children, listening, gathering their petitions, and presenting them to her Son with a tenderness beyond human understanding. Perhaps you've been waiting for a sign to begin praying the Rosary again. Perhaps you've been faithful but weary, wondering if your prayers still matter. Or perhaps you've never truly experienced the peace that comes from holding those beads and letting each prayer lift you out of fear, anxiety, and doubt. Whatever your story, this August could be the moment heaven has chosen for you. Do not let it pass. Begin today. Take your rosary in your hands, set your intention, and pray as if the entire outcome of the month depended on this moment, because in a way it does. Before you go, write in the comments, what grace will you ask for this August? Let's fill this space with intention so that thousands can join in praying for each other. And remember, Padre Pio's words echo through time, the Rosary is the weapon for these times. Next time, we will uncover one of his rarest and most hidden teachings about how the Rosary can protect you from dangers you cannot see. Stay close. The story is just beginning.